These videos have been awesome to do, but I realize sometimes in the topics, we aren't going deep enough. Sometimes in really order to help people, you have to go deep. And so on today's video, I'll be taking some of the questions that you guys have sent me or that I've just gotten way too many times along the journey. And today we're gonna get deep. Today we're gonna answer some of those questions that people really wanna know. So let's get into it. So after doing this show for the last 2 weeks, and we've dropped probably about 6 episodes, we've covered a lot of topics from building a personal brand, which I am wholeheartedly for. We've talked about videographers and how they can actually grow their business, which is my history. It's the thing that I know probably more than anything. And then we've also talked about relationships. The reason that's been prominent for me is just because in order for us to really grow as people, to grow these brands that we're looking to grow and to grow businesses, we have to get right with ourselves. And so today, instead of just having a overall topic, I thought it'd be important just to really kind of get into a question and answer video where I dive into the real questions that need to be answered. And some of these are a little going left a little bit, but I think, well, I know that you'll get some value out of this. So let's go ahead and get into the first question, which is, what's one boundary that changed as you've grown? What's one boundary that changed as you've grown? As I've grown and as I've matured and as I've become a lot more protective over me, my family, but more so over the care of myself, one of the things that has really changed for me is just being protective over who has access to me. Before all in my 30s, I would throw parties, I would throw gatherings, and just, hey, you can invite everybody. But today, as a 40-year-old man, and probably as I became older, 37, 38, 39, I'm so protective over myself. I am so protective over the person that I'm actually growing to be. I am so protective over the healing as well as the evolving, as well as the nurturing of my true self, where I don't want to just share that with everybody. I don't want to share that with people who don't value me the same way. I don't want to share that with people who don't love and respect me the same way. I don't even want to share that with people who don't like me. Um, and so over the last year or two, that's the one thing that I've been super protective on. Like, I've become a person who calls, like, who all over there? Because now that's important. I can't be free and be my true and authentic self if I'm around people who don't care for me. If I have to go somewhere and try to pretend, then I'm not going to be my authentic self. I'm being guarded because now I'm looking at you weird. So as I've grown and as I matured, that's probably been the one thing that has changed the most, is me not giving access of myself to everybody. I'm very selective and I'm very protective over that. And probably as you go through your own journey, you'll probably feel the same way as well. Like, there's certain people who have actual access to you, certain people that you can talk and laugh and joke with, and there's certain people that you just need to watch. I don't really know how long that lasts because I'm still in the phase of that. I'm still figuring that out. But as you go through that, you will definitely feel that as well. All right, question 2. Why is putting out content so frustrating sometimes? Oh, that's the $1,000,000 question. Putting out content for me is very frustrating. It's frustrating in the fact of you put your all into a video. You work hard on the video. You take a day, you take 2 days, you take 3, 4, 5 days to really get the video right. You have your thoughts lined up, you have your script lined up. You've taken days to shoot all the different angles that you feel like you need. And then once you put it out, it doesn't get the response that you feel like it should. And not saying that it doesn't get the response, but it's frustrating when the people around you who see what you're looking to do, what you're striving for, don't support that. To me, that's the most frustrating thing. Like, hey, this could go a lot further if you just liked it, if you just shared it, if you reposted, if you just added a comment to it. And so that's probably been the thing that has had me on hold for a while, because I will go hard and I will let other people's lack of support. And sometimes these people do actually support, but their lack of social media support really stopped me in my tracks. Like, that's definitely been my hindrance over the last year or two, is waiting for people to support me who just aren't going to support me. And not saying they have malicious intent, but that's probably the thing that's frustrating. One thing that's extremely frustrating is posting a video and my wife or somebody close to me would just, I could see them watching the video and then they scroll right on past it. That's probably the most, that's probably the thing that gets me the most frustrated and the most, that makes me feel away. I don't know if I'm catching a little cold. So the thing that I've started to do to kind of start to combat that is lean into the people that do support me. Lean into the people who show up for me online. My dog barking. Lean into the people who engage with every single thing that you do. And really just start to build your community out from there. Like, I have probably about 10 people who really root for me, people who will share everything that I post, people that will say, hey, I love what you just did. This was a dope video. And so for me right now, it's all about just building out that community. Like, when I actually think about where I want to go, it is to have a powerful, strong, and connected community, a kingdom of people who we all support each other. We all are pushing each other to do great things. We all are riding behind each other, because you can do that with the millions followers, but if nobody is really connected to you, then it's going to make it hard for you to actually change your life. You might have the followers, but you won't have the means to actually change your life. So if you're somebody that feels the same way and you feel frustrated every time that you make a post, then one thing that you should do is really just lean into the people who do support you, commenting on their stuff, share their stuff. And so you guys can actually build whatever it is that you're building together. All right, third question is really directly off of the last video, or actually 2 videos before that, where I talked about how single women can get married. And so one of the things that I mentioned in that is, for men, the brand of marriage needs to be rebranded, because everything kind of tailors to women, and it makes men feel secondary as opposed to it being a partnership. So, how would you rebrand marriage? Marriage should be rebranded as marriage should be rebranded as truly what it is. It needs to be rebranded as a partnership. Yeah, if I'm being real with it, it just needs to be rebranded as something where 2 people who are equals come together and then they actually build something great. Like we used to see back in the 90s, 2000s, some in the 2010s, we used to see a lot about power couples where 2 people who are equals or who were dominant in their own right come together and they marry, and now they're having this beautiful family, businesses, all that. Excuse me. But somewhere along the way, that's just subsided. People aren't getting married anymore. And now you have people who just have baby mamas, baby daddies. But marriage should really be just rebranded as 2 people that come together and they want to actually build a family. Really just take it back to the essence of what marriage was. I feel like along the way, I kept them cold. Yeah, I feel like along the way, marriage became about, the woman finding her man, and now she can live her life pretty much. But it never was like, hey, you found him, he found you, and now y'all can go and flourish together. And so I feel like marriage leans so heavily on the woman's side that it makes men not want to be a part of it. From the people I've talked to, from friends, from research, from all of that. So I think in order to rebrand marriage into something that sounds beneficial to everybody, then you just need to make it as equal as you possibly can, because this is a partnership that should be equal. Next question is, why should thought leaders document every time they speak? All right, let's get into the nitty gritty of building a brand. Thought leaders should document every time they speak, because you're going to say something that you've never said before. I actually just spoke at an event last Saturday, and so I spoke at an event last Saturday, and I brought my videographer out there, my guy Brandon, out to actually help me shoot the event. I've only spoken at a handful of conferences, events before. But every time I speak, I document and I record my speech. The reason being is because every time I get a mic in front of me, even though right now I have a lot to learn when it comes to that, but this is the best part. I'm always going to say something that I haven't said before. And also, especially if there's a live audience. I'm always going to ask Q&A because I'm always going to get a question that I never even thought of answering. And so every thought leader, no matter what you talk about, no matter what's your area of expertise, anytime you're speaking, no matter if it's a panel, it's a workshop, it's a keynote, record that. Mic yourself up, because you're going to say something that's really going to help somebody else. And if it helps somebody in that room, then by all means, it's definitely going to help somebody to help build your brand. So record yourself, mic yourself up, and put out those videos as clips. Why do you document everything? All right, so next question is, why do I document everything? Documentation is just one of the pillars that I live by. And no matter if I'm consulting somebody or I'm actually filming content with them, one of the things that I always say is that you should always, and I mean always, be documenting your life. The reason why it is important is because when you are building out a brand, if you're building out a personal brand, and if your intention is to build a brand that actually connects with people, then you need to have different tentacles out there that can help you connect. And the easiest way of doing that, you don't have to actually come up with all these out of the box creative ideas. Some of the easiest ways that you can actually help to connect with people is to document your life. Of course, there's going to be things in your life that are private. Those things you should keep private. But there's also going to be the simplest things that you do that people are like, that's interesting. I want to aspire to do that. Or people are going to be able to see how hard that you work. And people are like, I want to aspire to be like that person. Or they're just going to see how you are as a person. And they're like, I love how this person is. Let me aspire to be like them. Building a brand is all about aspiration. Building a community is all about aspiration. Being a leader is being somebody that other people aspire to be like. So the reason that I document everything, I'm documenting right now, is because when building out a personal brand, in order to build something that's going to change lives, you need to create value and you need to create proof. Value to say that I know what I'm talking about, and proof is to show your work. Like, take it back to elementary school. When you're doing math, you got to show your work. And even in building a brand, you need to show proof that you know what you're talking about to be able to establish your value. And to do that, you got to show your work. Six, should everything be content? No. Even though I document a lot of my life is not content. A lot of the work that I do at Grove, at the church, as a creative director, is not content. Some of the stuff involving my wife and my daughter is not content. I film bits and pieces of my life so you guys can kind of see glimpses of it, but you're not going to see the full picture. Me and my wife arguing, that's not going to happen. Us having a full family day, you're not going to see that. Some of the in-house conversations, you're not going to see that. I just give out enough so you can see glimpses of it. And so that's what I normally suggest to anybody is, if you want to start documenting your life, there needs to be a boundary of the things that you actually show and the things you don't show. The things you want to show, cool, keep the cameras rolling. But the things that you want to hold private to yourself, and keep them private. Last question is, how do you go above and beyond in the video industry? Very random question. To go above and beyond, to go above and beyond in the video industry. If you're a videographer and you want to grow your business and somebody gave you one shot to film whatever it is, the easiest way to wow them, the easiest way to get more clientele, the easiest way to get more work is to be the fastest. Simple as that. If you are directly going against a videographer and you both are working a conference, and the videographer takes a week to turn over that deliverable, a recap, but you do yours in 24 hours, or better yet, you do yours right after the event. Who do you think will get booked first? Who do you think will get more work? Who do you feel like will be in more high demand? The person who can do it fastest. No matter if the other person gives you a movie, the first person to actually turn in their deliverable and that person puts out the deliverable is going to be the person that wins. Because, let's break it down like this. Odyssey came out. I like this example. Odyssey came out a couple weeks ago. 3-hour movie. Great movie. I've seen it. Probably go see it again. If I put out a lower version of Odyssey and it came out 2 weeks before the one that just came out, let's say I deleted a couple of scenes, and the one that came out, the version of the Odyssey that came out right now, comes out 2 or 3 weeks later, everybody had already seen mine. They've already seen what happened. They've already seen all the different scenes, the wild scenes. They're not going to be super hyped about running to that one when the one that it might not have been a 10 out of 10, might have been a 8.5 out of 10. People are going to run to that movie and be like, oh, I already seen it. I don't need to see this other version. And this is the one that I like. This is the one I fell in love with. So I'm still going to actually support that one. That's the one that I'm telling everybody to go see. The same thing with the video industry. The person who is the person who has good quality, but also the fastest, will always get the most work. So that is just something to think about. And so that is the end of the video today. I think my body's trying to turn on me I feel like a cold is happening. But wanted to get you guys this video. Wanted to do something that is very straightforward with just answering questions. Because I didn't have a topic in mind. But if you got to this part of the video, what is a question that you would like me to answer in the next video? It could be something super in depth. It could be something super long form, or it could be just a rapid fire question that I can answer for you. But put in the comments just so I know that you got it this far in the video. And what type of medicine should I take to kind of get rid of this little bit of cold? I might get some Dayquil. But yeah, that's it for this video. Once again, I'm Rashad, I'm 40, and I'm just here to help you grow and really become the kings and queens that you've already dreamed about being. See y'all in the next one.